So I know at first it might seem a little bit cringy to overanalyze something as mindless as two YouTubers having a fight, but whatever, that's exactly what I'm doing today, because in my opinion, this KSI versus Logan Paul rematch is a little bit more than just two YouTubers having a fight. The game has certainly changed since Weller v Malfoy, I'll say that much. So today, we're going to be talking about everything that was done right the first time KSI and Logan Paul had a fight, and everything that was done horribly wrong this time thanks to Big Eddie Hearn. This is why KSI v Logan Paul is now at least a tiny little bit ruined. I don't know what the title's going to be, but it's going to be something like that. Before I say anything else though, I want to quickly plug something. Shameless plug, I know, just hear me out, you might be interested. I want to quickly mention the fact that me and some other YouTubers have officially started a joint channel. The channel is called The Nout Gang. Get it? Because Clout Gang, because like they're a group on YouTube, but it's like Nout, which is like slang for nothing. So like, it's like nothing. I'm just giving you a taste of how unfunny this channel's going to be. The channel is featuring Marley Swarbs, Connor Keneally, Jaraban, Natalie, Leah, and myself. We're going to mainly be doing gaming together as well as recording some podcasts on this channel, so I've linked all of the individual channels of the people involved down below so you can go check them out, see if you find them slightly bearable, and decide if you want to subscribe to the Nout Gang. Please do. It would mean a lot. It would mean a lot if you guys could check out this new channel. Anyway, back to the video. KSI, insert funny picture here, versus Logan Paul, insert funny picture here. What is happening now? Two absolute YouTube titans fighting again. Who do I want to win? That's the big question. That's not even a question. KSI. Oh, it's not a question. I didn't have to think about that one. If you're from the UK and you want Logan Paul to win this fight, then you genuinely deserve to be deported. Was that one so far? Yeah, probably. In fact, actually, you know what? Let's go against this British normality of hating Logan Paul, because to be fair to the guy, to be 100% fair to him, I don't actually hate his videos. Some of them are actually alright. Hear me out, God, hear me out before you crucify me. The way I see it, watching a Logan Paul video is kind of equivalent to watching porn. I didn't think that one through. What I mean is not that not that Logan turns me on, but rather that it's not something that you go around publicly admitting that you watch, but it is something that most people have watched at some point. Like, don't lie, we've all watched a couple of Logan Paul videos in our time, and we've all reluctantly kind of enjoyed it. After watching a Logan Paul video, the first thing you don't do is go into school or college or uni or work the next day and go, guys, I watched Logan Paul fall in love with a child and it was amazing. In the same way that after watching porn, you don't exactly go into school the next day and go, guys, I watched some cracking porn last night. You don't do that. Like, it's just not what you do. Oh, I mean, some people might, but that's weird. This was, at one point, this was meant to be a video about the fight. What am I doing? Let's talk about the fight. So the first time KSI fought Logan Paul, it was quite possibly one of the most memorable things that's ever happened on YouTube. The Joe Weller one was alright, but that was sort of just like one side of the internet, since both of them came from the UK and both of them came from like the same side of the internet, that like it didn't really reach like the rest of the internet. It hardly really left the UK YouTube scene and didn't really get very much mainstream attention. Also, the fight itself didn't really have a controversial ending that got people talking. KSI basically just beat Joe Weller back to the days of New Wave films. The fight with Logan Paul, however, was two entirely different sides of the internet clashing. Everyone online heard about this, everyone offline heard about this. It was on the radio, it was on newspapers, it was everywhere. These guys were both #1 when it came to cockiness in their field of YouTube, so coming up against someone who's equally as cocky as you, that was probably new ground for both of them. And as well as the entire build-up, the fight was actually decent. The quality of boxing on the show was genuinely not that bad, so boxing fans couldn't really find a way to get mad at it. And unlike the Joe Weller fight, the ending was controversial, and if there's one thing that gets people talking about stuff more than anything else, it's stuff being controversial. This kept everyone talking about the fight, and in my opinion, made the premise of a potential rematch more interesting, because the answer of who's the better fighter still hadn't been answered. And that's not to mention all of the other YouTubers that got on the undercard. Like, they had the brothers fighting, that in itself added so much more to this storyline. The undercard, full of YouTubers, the crowd, full of YouTubers, the commentary table, you know what, I literally cannot get myself to say anything good about Lawrence's commentary, that was god-awful. But that's besides the point. The point is that this event was solely targeted at the YouTube audience, and it did its job. It delivered. If you couldn't tell by the number of times I just said the word YouTube, this was a YouTube event. This might have been a boxing match, but it wasn't really a boxing event. It was a YouTube event. And it appealed to YouTube fans solely. You know what? Take a shot every time I say the word YouTube. You'll probably end up paralytic. The fans loved it. It was a great event. It served its purpose. It wasn't falsely advertised in any way, in my opinion. It did what it said on the tin, and it delivered. And we also all got to see Jake Paul bleed, so that in itself makes the event worth going to. Made my 5-hour car journey worth it alone. But best of all, it was run by people who know about YouTube. The way you heard me, pour yourself another shot. All of these things, all of the things that made this event sick, I'd say probably make this the second best YouTuber boxing match of all time. Of course, being after Fuzi versus Slim. Now, with that all said, let's move back to present day and talk about this rematch. KSI versus Logan Paul 2. A pro fight without head guards, 10-ounce gloves, you know the deal. You've heard Eddie Hearn say it about 500 million times. So yeah, this time it is ran by Eddie Hearn, and I've got to say, I've always thought, as a boxing fan myself, that this guy is a top bloke. Up until recently, with this fight and also going to Saudi Arabia for AJ Ruiz, that is mental. But until those two recent things, I never could have said a bad word about the man. Like I said, I have been a boxing fan for a while, so listening to this guy rant about Deontay Wilder has always been part of my day. So seeing the YouTube community suddenly mercilessly take the piss out of this guy is like seeing my two worlds merge. Who would have ever thought the day would come when one of the funniest accounts on Twitter is a no context Hearn account? Like, I genuinely want to meet the person behind that account and tell them how genuinely class of an individual they are. Now listen, right, I'm not saying that Eddie Hearn doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to selling a fight, because he's shown over the years time after time that he does. But my lord, does he know what he's doing when it comes to taking something so pure and innocent and made up of a community and ripping the living soul out of it for his own gain.
On this undercard, we want World Championship Boxing. We don't want other YouTubers.
Yeah, so why the f have you gone and bought a YouTube event then? Is it so that you can promote your own fighters? Is that what it is? Is it so that you can make mad bank and also become famous amongst teenagers because every shot of KSI and Logan Paul facing off, there's your creepy eyes right between them? No, Eddie, can't be because of any of that. I get it, okay? He's a businessman, he knows exactly what he wants out of this, and he is gonna make mad bank off it. But from the YouTube fan side of me, I can't help but look at this event and see everything it's become with all the Sky Sports, Matchroom, Professional, all that. I can't help but look at this fight now and see something that goes against literally every reason why this whole YouTube boxing thing started in the first place. Having World Championship Boxing on the undercard. You know, I really hate to be the one to break it to you, Eddie, but none of the 12-year-old low gangsters in LA that are gonna go see this fight give two shits who Billy Joe Saunders is. I like Billy Joe Saunders, I think he's a good world champion, but the vast majority of the YouTube audience do not care. I'm really sorry to keep on relating this back to myself and how much of an absolute hard nut I am because I'm into boxing. Like, I get it probably seems like I'm flexing like mad, but for me, I am a fan of pro boxing and I am a fan of YouTubers boxing, but as separate things. To put all of these 50-year-old boomers who like boxing under the same roof as a bunch of 12-year-old girls who like Logan Paul at the Staples Center, which by the way is a very choice of venue, but I'll get into that in a second. Trying to make an event that appeals to both of those demographics has actually kind of just appealed to neither because both sides have been pissed off and felt like that they've been hard done by. The YouTube fans are obviously disappointed that they're not going to see the likes of JMX, FaZe Sensei, all of that lot fighting on the undercard. Gibb versus Jake is a possibility, but other than that, we got no other YouTubers. But then on the flip side, that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about, the boxing fans are obviously going to be pissed off that their guys that they've supported for years are now going to be under two YouTubers who they don't know. And you know what? I actually kind of understand that. Hypothetically, if Billy Joe Saunders started a YouTube channel and YouTube suddenly decided to put him at the top of the trending page for weeks above other people that people have supported for a long time on YouTube, the YouTube fans will be a bit confused and a bit fed up that other people aren't being pushed when it's just Billy Joe Saunders who isn't even a YouTuber. I can understand why both sides are pissed off by this because it doesn't really satisfy anyone. It's this really weird half in, half out between YouTube event and pro event. Eddie Hearn has said countless times that he wants this to be a professional event. We don't want other YouTubers. Yet at the LA press conference, he let Jake Paul just run riot on stage and puff in JJ's face. Like, what an absolute dickhead. That would not happen at like a real pro boxing event. It wouldn't. But I guess he lets them off because in his eyes, they're just little children, which they sort of are. I can't blame you, Eddie, for thinking that one. The point is, I think this is where Eddie Hearn has kind of missed the mark on this one. The reason why JJ and Logan have got all this attention for their fight isn't because of the sport they're taking part in. It's because of them and their personalities and their social media following and the storyline between them. The fans that are going to be attending this fight aren't exactly going there to see if Logan can land the jab when he's on the back foot or to see if JJ can work on the inside and then land a big overhand right. Like, they don't care about that. The real reason why they're going there is so that they can tell JJ he doesn't have a penis or that Logan doesn't have a dog. That is the level we're on with this event. So running what is essentially a YouTube event and saying that no other YouTubers can get involved is a pretty dumb business decision for someone who considers themselves to be a businessman. Eddie, mate, I got a 5 in my business GCSE and I'm spotting business opportunities before you are. You know what else was a stupid decision by Hearn? The idea to stage the fight 4,000 miles away from where the main audience is. Having the fight in LA means it's probably going to be about 3 in the morning in the UK, so how many kids are going to be able to stay up to watch that? When the fight was in the UK, it was evening here and then afternoon in America, where the two main audiences are. It was a good time to watch it in both places. Having it in LA is essentially cutting off the main audience because so many people will not be asked to stay up till 3 in the morning to watch this. And to break this down even further, have a look at the Challenger Games and see how many tickets that sold. If that isn't a good gauge of how little LA YouTube cares about YouTube events, then I don't know what is. So many of the biggest American YouTubers were there in that place at one time and still about 2 people turned up. Because an undercard of pro fighters who aren't your Anthony Joshua, your Tyson Fury, like that isn't going to fill up the Staples Center in itself. And since you haven't devoted this event enough to YouTube, that isn't going to fill up the event itself because of the pros. So the pros and the YouTubers are sort of just in each other's way and cancelling each other out to the point where the arena won't fill up. If that makes sense at all. I'm probably waffling. But bottom line is, Eddie, you can talk about your 1.3 million pay-per-view buys all you want, but you know you're not getting that this time. You straight up aren't. Maybe if you ran the event like it was ran last time, then maybe you would get the 1.3 million pay-per-view buys, but this time I don't see it happening, pal. And if he hadn't already realised that it would have been a better idea to stage the fight in the UK, then he definitely realised it on stage on Monday at the press conference. Now that the two press conferences have happened, I guess we can probably compare them to last year's one to see if anything's changed. First of all, let's compare last year's LA one to this year's LA one. So last year in LA, there was a pretty split crowd, 50% for Logan, 50% for JJ. Logan would not shut up and neither would Shannon Briggs. Now let's fast forward to the 2019 LA press conference where there was like, yeah, I mean 50% for Logan, 50% for JJ. Logan wouldn't shut up and neither would Shannon Briggs. I find it mental how the two LA press conferences, both last year and this year, are pretty much carbon copies of each other. The one difference this time, the only difference this time, is the fact that Eddie Hearn stood there in the middle wondering what he's watching because he's never seen anything like this in his life. Oh, and that also meant that Shannon Briggs was on Logan's team, so he was even more obnoxious and loud and annoying and unlikable this time. God, I want to punch that man in the face. I don't actually. Oh, no, God, no, I don't. I really don't. Who remembers last year when Logan had a bit of a cry about how biased True Geordie was and the fact that Shannon Briggs was like a fair moderator and True Geordie wasn't in London? Well, the guy that was meant to be neutral last year in LA is now making Instagram posts like this and beefing Vidal. So, you know, I guess that was all a load of bollocks as well. There isn't really anything noteworthy to say about these LA press conferences apart from the number of dick jokes there were. So, you know what? Let's move on to the London press conference. Okay, so while the two LA ones were very similar, the two London ones were quite different. Last year, Logan came in, sat down, started crying and walked out, whereas this year he went for a slightly different approach that I can't really explain in words.
I'ma light you on fire, bro. I'ma yoss you. Yeet.
Let's just say that the main thing I took away from it was the fact that I don't think this fight's even going to happen because there's no way that man is passing a drug test. Okay, so credit where it's due, the setup of this one was actually sick. Like the bit at the start where they were up high and like the flashing lights, gotta give it to them. That bit looked sick. But then before you know it, Eddie Hearn and Adam Smith from Sky Sports are down on the main stage talking to the crowd like a bunch of primary school kids.
Who's supporting Logan Paul? So, I guess you're here for KSI, right?
For some unknown reason, Logan thought it would be really funny for his opening line to be a history lesson.
All the support that we gave you in World War II, and this is how you return the favor. Wow.
Bit of a weird thing to open with. At the same time, I also find it hilarious because you know how many times he's practiced that one in the mirror. I guess Logan's game plan this time was to get so high out of his mind that he didn't get fazed by the crowd. Or something. I mean, fair play, mate. It worked, clearly. You were looking like some next wave TikTok star on that stage.
Question for Logan.
Wait, what? Wait, how does he get it to look so? Wait, like a kind of. What is it, Logan? Tell me, what is it? Genuinely, all jokes aside, Logan handled this amazingly. Like, very few people in their life are going to experience this level of hate at any time. And Logan just lapped it up. Honestly, fair play, mate. The final question I want to answer is, who do I think is going to win? The big question. I mean, does it really matter? Win, lose or draw, these guys are going to make absolute stacks from this fight, and they probably already have. They're probably already made for life. In fact, not even probably. Of course they're already made for life. That was stupid from me. Obviously they're already made for life. This fight alone will allow them to be set for life, even the person who loses. If JJ loses, the sidemen will help him get back on track. He'll probably make more music. He'll probably go on tour again. He'll probably fight Jake Paul. He'll keep making videos on his own channel, and the whole UK will still be behind him no matter what. If Logan loses, he's going to keep doing Impulsive. He'll probably do another Challenger Games and have it flop again. He'll probably keep on giving money to charity until people believe he's a decent person. He'll be fine as well. The guy's already recovered from filming a dead body and uploading it to YouTube, so honestly, losing this fight isn't going to do anything to him. I know you probably want me to get off the fence, and I will. If I'm completely honest, I think Logan is going to have him in a couple of rounds. I know that JJ's training hard, and I know that JJ is going to come prepared, but I think that Logan has been training since the last fight. He's had so much time to train, and I think he's probably just going to be too big for him. Unfortunately, that is the way I see it going, especially without head guards. Logan will, oh god, it's not going to be pretty. I would love JJ to win this fight so much, more so than most other fights I've ever watched in my life. I really want JJ to be able to do this. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you so much for watching this video. This one's probably been really long. My voice is really hurting and it's like 11 at night. I want sleep. I really want sleep. Thank you so much for watching this video. No doubt there'll be other stuff about this fight coming up. I might do some sort of video. I don't know. I'm too tired to think right now. If you're new around here, then please do hit that subscribe button and also drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.
Yeah, yeet. Thank you for watching Tom GW's video. Please, subscribe for more clout, but only if you have a big wang. Hit the like button if you want to get into heaven, but only if you can spin a fidget spinner on your nose for 5 seconds. Follow all the socials linked down below if you want to become a disciple of Tom GW. Goodbye. See you in